Coming up, it's television's spookiest night in a special Halloween edition of Night Owls with Jack Delroy.
He's here, isn't he? Good to see you again, Jack.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Dad?
Groovy.
This is Video Store Clerks. Welcome to the store.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Video Store Clerks podcast. Woo! We are here today. You broke me already. It's going to be a long night, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. We are your clerks for this evening. Look at all these boxes. It's a party in the store tonight. Party, party, party. We are your clerks. I'm Dave.
Jamming.
Good night. I am Mike.
I'm Chuck Nasty.
Yeah. And joining us tonight, first of all, he is the ruler of the Scene Snobs channel. He is the leader of the Snob Nation. He is the internet's favorite snob, Mr. Mick Manhattan, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm here. Let's talk some horror. I'm excited.
Where's the applause button at, fellas?
I know we
probably have guests. We have no one to clap them in. Come on. This is
There it is. There it is. What?
There we go.
In front of a live AI audience.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post. And joining us as well, he is a scene snob as well, co-host, fellow snob, and horror expert. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you producer Paul.
Yes, sir.
Nice to be here.
There we go.
Out to the-
There we go.
there
Thank you
we
very
go.
much.
Audience participation.
That's what we like. And as you can see, tonight's main event will be, wait, let me back up. Let me preface this by saying, and I'll be honest with you guys, a little known fun fact about our video store is we haven't had a new member in like over 20 years, but corporate still sends us new movies every now and then, which none of us can figure out. One of which will be Late Night with the Devil. Yes. And we will be talking about that tonight. But first, we will start the program, as we always do, with the news.
Hey, cue the news, you fucking moron. It's time.
At Santa Monica Beach.
Notamos que las condiciones están fluctuando entre los 80
¡Ay, caramba!
hasta los 90 grados. Parece que tenemos un problema, me imagino, con las luces, pero no se preocupen. Seguimos con el tiempo. Las temperaturas para hoy van a ser aproximadamente de 100.
That's a great clue.
No me gusta.
I guess no news is good news, right?
Oh, man. That was amazing. Oh, what did they say?
That was
I
freaky.
didn't. It wasn't translated in Spanish for me, so I have no idea.
I'm kidding with you, my friend.
Melissa, hello.
Melissa.
And, oh boy, it's funny with the news. Some weeks we're scraping to find enough news segments, and other weeks we'll have to pick and choose because we'll never get through it all. Tonight is one of those weeks. But we'll start with the box office. These are your domestic totals for this past weekend. To no surprise to anybody, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came in at number one, bringing in $58 million this past weekend.
I'm down to see that.
Has anybody seen it?
Yeah.
Dak saw it. He said it was really good.
Yeah,
We just
I've heard good
reviewed it on our show earlier. It was good. It was a good time. It was a good follow up to the trilogy they just put out.
Yes, it was.
Nice.
Coming in at number 2, The Fall Guy. Number 3, Challengers. Number 4, Terra. You guys say Terra or Tarot cards? I've always said Terra.
Tarot.
Oh, shit. I guess I've been wrong all these years.
Listen, Tarot. That's what it is.
Terra?
T. Tarot.
It's a hard T at the end.
Tarot card.
Like terrorizing?
Tarot.
Number 5. Godzilla and Kong are still hanging in there, coming in at number 5, bringing another $2.6 million this past weekend.
Very nice.
Number 6, Unsung Hero. I still don't know what that's about, but it's still there. Number 7, Lucky 7, Kung Fu Panda 4.
Nice.
Number 8, probably the scariest movie of all time, Civil War.
Truth.
Number 9, Star Wars Episode 1, still hanging in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, bringing another $1.4 million.
Jar Jar still killing it.
After all these years. And finally, number 10, Abigail. I've heard nothing but good things about this movie, but it just
I watched it.
It wasn't bad.
It's pretty good.
It's good. I liked it. It was cool.
not selling tickets at the box office.
And they
for
even
some
have
reason.
Danzig in it, and she tap dances.
Right?
Nothing better than
Yeah, because all the people went to go see Tarot,
Tarot. They got their Tarot reading.
and they shouldn't have.
Call me now.
Either go see Abigail or stay home and watch this.
Right.
Dave missed the day in school when they learned about silent letters.
I
This
can't
is
hear
not
them.
true.
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yes, it is.
Moving on.
Moving on. Well, we're in this video store, and so we would be remiss if we did not mention the passing of Mr. Roger Corman here a few days ago, because I think it goes without saying that at least half of the movies that are on the shelves back here probably would not be here if it wasn't for Mr. Roger Corman, who passed away at 98 years old. But
Yeah. I watched The Raven the other night in tribute after I found out about it. That's such a goofy ass movie, but it's so fun. There's so many good movies, man. If anybody hasn't seen it on Shudder, there's a Joe Bob Last Drive-In with Joe Bob where he was on it not too long ago. So it's pretty cool to check out if I haven't seen that yet.
Nice.
yes, R.I.P. to the king of the B movies. But in addition to that, he mentored and gave a start to young directors Francis Ford Coppola, Ron Howard, Martin Scorsese, John Demme, Joe Dante, and legendary actors such as Peter Fonda, Jack Nicholson, Dennis Hopper, Bruce Dern, and even William Shatner.
The only time that I've ever seen Jack Nicholson like tear up in an interview was when he's talking about how much he loves Roger Corman because of what all he did for him. Like Roger Corman was the man. He was, and unfortunately, all our legends are calling it a day. So
That's because we're old, so they're really old.
yeah, I know. That's the thing. We get older, and so do they.
Yeah, it sucks.
Rest in
Crazy.
peace.
Even though John
Rest in
Carpenter
power.
he did it back in the 70s.
Hey, look, John Carpenter can never die. All right, that's just I can't. I'm not even going to fathom that thought right now. Let's just move on. Let's
He's a
just drink some
vampire.
Corman.
Oh yeah.
John Carpenter rules. Get it over there at the Scene Snobs website.
Available now.
Whole slew of them, even a Roger Corman one.
Nice.
Made it before.
Oh, yeah.
And moving on, we'll kind of fly through some of these. Peter Jackson's making another Lord of the Rings movie.
Yay.
It's gonna be 6 hours.
I don't know.
He needs
I
to do
don't know.
Dead Alive too.
Right? Why is
Yeah,
that?
I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
I
Or the
didn't
Frighteners.
give 2 fucks. Yeah, that'd be cool. But I didn't
Is
give
it
2
equal to
fucks
the
about Lord of the
Feebles?
Rings.
I want to know. We
Feebles.
got into Lord of the Rings. I just never got into it.
Oh God, the Feebles.
They're gonna walk
Man,
30
what a weird
miles in this
movie.
movie. Right.
Such a weird movie.
Man, I was on I used to be on another podcast a while back, and we did a whole week of like Peter Jackson movies. The
It's early
Feebles
shit
one.
cool, but fuck the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, it's like we did the Feebles. I'd never seen it before.
Oh, I'm an old man.
And man, what What a movie that is.
I bought that shit on like a bootleg DVD, like at the very first con I ever went to when I was 18.
Hell yeah.
I had heard so many things about it, and everything that was said was true. Muppets having sex. I don't. Yeah, whatever. Muppets doing drugs and shit. Like, that's all right. I don't know how Jim Henson would have felt about that, but you know,
it was Fritz the
whatever.
Cat and puppets.
Weird. Fritz the Cat, dude. Yeah. There's one you don't watch to let the kiddies watch.
That shit would not fly today.
No.
In other news, zombie movie 28 years later is finally moving forward and just recently cast Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh,
Peacock.
I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah.
Huh?
28.
Oh, 28 years later. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about seeing that, like that one. I'm a big fan of the other ones.
I have to go back and watch them.
I'm so burnt out on zombies.
Yeah,
but
same.
I love those movies. I love those movies so much that I'm cool with having another one because those movies actually creep me the fuck out. So
yeah,
you know. But other than that, I'm so fucking tired of zombies. God damn it. Anyway,
I think we're going to get a Chuck rant at some point tonight. Ted has been renewed for a new season. Ted season 2 will be coming soon.
That shit was
sweet. Yeah, it is.
Sigourney Weaver is reportedly in talks to play a key role in the Mandalorian movie.
That sucks.
I don't give a shit. Like I
don't know. After the last season of Mando, I'm done.
Don't do it, Sigourney. Run.
Then they fucked up Boba Fett, so I was really done.
Avoid the mouse at all costs. We mentioned a couple weeks ago that a new Jurassic World movie was on the way, and sure enough, Jurassic World 4 is moving forward with Scarlett Johansson to star.
You know, I think it's about time they just stop those movies too. I mean, I tried to watch. I haven't watched a good portion of the newer ones, but man, come on! After making it, like after rewatching the first like 3, I didn't give a fuck about the other ones. I don't give a fuck about that turd. What's his fucking name? Chris Pratt. I don't like that fucking guy. That guy's a fucking asshole. I don't like him. A fucking douchebag. Right?
I know exactly what's going to set you off. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. I'll
best on-screen Mario ever.
All right. Okay. It was good. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't have a stake in the game. Go ahead.
Captain Lou Albano.
What are you going to tell me, Dave?
Yes. Captain Lou. Nicolas Cage is set to star in a live-action Spider-Man noir movie. Coming soon to Prime Video. And speaking of Prime, The Boys has been renewed for a new season 5. And finally, speaking of Amazon, this is going to be the one. Roadhouse 2 with Jake Gyllenhaal is on the way.
Green light.
Nice.
Great.
2?
Got that movie.
Two?
Oh,
Two?
no, 2. Yeah.
Okay. Now
Okay.
I was all right. I was okay with the idea after I watched the trailer for the one they recently did. I was like, maybe it's not that bad.
It's not. It's a good movie.
Okay, cool. Where's the fucking story gonna go now? I hate when they do this fucking shit. Like, why does there need to be a fucking sequel to everything? Like, but the thing is that they're gonna make money, and they're gonna make money the first fucking couple of days that movie comes out, and everybody goes around going, "Hey, the movie sucks," and nobody wants to fucking see it, and then they lose money, and it happens all the time. They waste too much fucking money and too much fucking time on shit nobody really gives two goddamn rats fucks about, and then like so many other good scripts out there being left fucking behind. I fucking hate it. Moving on.
And that's the news.
Melissa said a minute ago, did any of us see the Trap trailer? I have not.
Yep.
I have not. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you know what I did with Josh Hartnett, right? New M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, where he's a serial killer or some shit, or he's a kidnapper.
Yeah, they're hunting him at like a Taylor Swift concert or some shit. It looks interesting.
Oh yeah, it actually doesn't look that bad.
I don't watch movies.
Not Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Lost faith there.
All right. Moving on to our main event. Now we will discuss Late Night
No,
with the Devil. What?
we won't.
Why
Nick
not?
has some shit going on.
Oh.
What kind of shit you got going on, Nick?
I mean, hey, listen, it's your show. I'll ride with it. Where you want to go? Should I just speak on it? I'm not quite sure what I should do.
Speak on it.
Well, I appreciate. First off, I want to say thanks for having us. Appreciate you.
Yeah, always welcome.
Having a fun
Anytime,
time.
come on the show.
And you guys are doing. Do you guys announce your movies beforehand? What you're doing next week?
End.
Yep.
Well, make sure you come back next week too. Give them a big old follow and subscribe if you're watching, and check out when they do American Psycho as well, because these are two great movies lined up. You know, super excited to be here. Thank you guys. We are the media partners of Carolina Fear Fest 2024 down in Raleigh, North Carolina, coming up Memorial Day weekend. You're gonna want to get your tickets. They have weekend passes. They have very limited amount of VIP passes available. They may even be out. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. But they will have day passes. You can come out, hang out, have a good time. There's tons of celebrities there, vendors. We have shows going on, everything. The panels are amazing. There's a film fest. Just fun all weekend long. And if you have your weekend pass or your VIP pass, you can get in on Friday night for your extra special night where there's more photo ops and things like that. We got, just to name a few of who's going to be there, Heather Langenkamp's going to be there. David Arquette's going to be there. Bill Moseley, Amy Steele with Warrington Gillette. They're going to be doing a photo op in costume and everything. So just tons of stuff happening that weekend. I hope you guys can make it out for sure.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you letting me come on and talk about it. So it's a great convention. 5 years they're celebrating this year. It's just awesome.
Yeah. We go to lots of cons, so we figure we might as well plug one that we really won't have a chance to get to because it's short notice.
Well, hopefully one day, 1 year you guys can get out. Well, it'll be a fun time. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And the links for the Scene Snobs and for Fear Fest will be in the description. See, you got me all.
Well, you're good now.
Oh, I'm good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back on course.
All right. We'll fix it in post.
And go.
Let's get to Late Night with the Devil. Gentlemen, year in, year out, no matter what genre it is, we get a lot of crap throughout the year, but we do get some gems. I would consider this a gem. And it was refreshing to not have to sit through a 2.5, 3-hour movie, because this one, man, is quick. I mean, it's an hour and a half, but it flies. The pacing is so good. But anyway, I would hear what you guys think.
No, I mean, I'm just surprised this shit took so fucking long to come out because it was released last year at South by Southwest, and then it came out roughly a year later in theaters. And some people were hating on it, but overall, like, it got a lot of good feedback. Like, I watched this movie numerous times, and it, like you said, it plays real smooth. Fucking, it just, the way that it was filmed was fucking amazing. How, like, the talk show was in 4:3 shit. So like 4:3 ratio, and then it clicked like during like between like the commercial segments, you go back to like widescreen and fucking black and white. So you get like the behind the scenes shit. Like that shit was fucking dope. Like I forgot like half the time I was watching a movie. Like I thought I was watching a late night TV show from back in the 70s on YouTube.
I'm a sucker for that shit. Like
I'm
a fan of found footage stuff, and when there's like I haven't seen a talk show one like this one yet. Now there was a movie that came out a few years ago on Shudder, I do, that had a very similar premise, except it was a talk show, or it was a live stream of an exorcist doing a live exorcism. Except it wasn't found footage; it was like in that moment kind of thing.
Repossessed?
Is that what it was? Maybe no. No, they wouldn't represent. No. Jesus, no. I can't remember what that one was called, but no, I really like the idea of there being a different type of found footage film instead of just being like, oh, we're in a tunnel, oh, we're in a house, oh, we moved into a new house, oh, we're scared still. No, this takes place live. It's supposedly hidden off from the world, and there's so many different elements that are in this like. One room that happened. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big fan of that shit too. Like, you remember the movie Phone Booth? I'm a big fan of that movie too because it happens pretty much in one spot and they make it work. And that's what I really loved and respected about this one a lot was the fact of what are they going to do in this small space You know, like I don't know. I was pretty hooked from the first time I heard about it.
Yeah, it's almost in real time, kind of.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's good shit. Like I really enjoyed it, and I also have to add that the minute that Pentagram's "Forever My Queen" comes on at the beginning of the movie, I knew I was gonna like it. Had a chance to open up to that band a couple of years ago. It was kind of cool. But anyway,
I figured you were going to bring up the Michael Ironside narration because that shit was fucking
that was
sick.
awesome. You get bonus points for that.
Yeah. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh fuck, get Quaid."
Dude, this movie, I love this freaking movie. I thought they did a great job. This is like we were talking about zombie movies earlier, and like to me, that's been for a long time a hurting and suffering subgenre of horror, and so is exorcism films.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one was such a breath of fresh air because it's so different in the realm of exorcism films, but so much more intriguing. You know, it's not just it's not really even an exorcism film. It's just this wonderful possession film with like you said, a backdrop of just a set. Brilliantly done, acted, sold so well by what's his name, Dasmushin, Dave Dasmushin. He did wonderful. He was fantastic in this. He really shines, and I know they never will, but could be nominated for it.
It was good to see him in a lead role too.
Right, finally.
Yeah,
and not like a really crazy one either. He always plays like a wide-eyed nut.
Yeah,
loved it, but this was like good to see him like interacting and like vibrant, you know.
And he came off really well as a 70s like late night host too. Which because I mean there is a certain vibe from that time to like now when it comes down to it. And sometimes when you see in movies with people playing late night hosts and shit like that, they're not really convincing. I was pretty convinced. Like Chad said, it was actually like you were watching like an old rerun or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The production was seamless. The aesthetic is so good, and it makes you feel like you're watching something from 1977. And like Nick was saying, you know, as far as not necessarily like exorcism films, but that genre or that part, the subgenre, where like last year we kind of buried the Pope's Exorcist and the remake of The Exorcist, and that didn't really do anything. We
Exorcist Belieber.
Yeah, Belieber. We talked about this
Belieber.
whenever we talked about the original Exorcist, where it came out the gate, and once you do perfection, it's like, how do you follow that act? And it's a tough act to follow. And this one, you know, they were able to make it, like I said, the aesthetic looked great, and the story and everything just had you glued in. Like I was just sitting there kind of glued to my set, just like the viewers would be, wondering what's going to happen next.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I accidentally ended up seeing this movie. We just happened to be free that weekend, and I hadn't really heard much about this movie, so we were like, "Yeah, let's go see it." It's a Shudder movie. It's probably going to be mediocre, and we were absolutely blown away. I can't think of the last movie. I just sat in my seat 3 minutes after just watching the credits, being like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
Right.
The acting was great. Like you said, the sets were good. It was so believable. It was believable enough that my parents are older. They're in their mid 80s. So I took them to see what they thought, since they grew up with late night talk shows, and they thought it was phenomenal. They were like, this brought us back to being, you know, preteens and teenagers, to where this is exactly how it was set up. They were blown away by it.
That's cool.
I would, in my opinion, this is the best horror movie to come out in my lifetime. So in the last 32 years, I think this is the best horror movie ever come out.
That's bold.
That's a big fucking statement.
That's a big fucking statement.
I know, and I know Mick hated when I made that statement last time, but in my honest opinion, though, in the last 32 years, this is probably the closest to perfection I have enjoyed or seen.
What fucks me up about all of that is 32 years ago was what, 1992?
I'm sorry.
So what?
Oh, there's so many movies that have come out.
There's so many movies that have come out,
but none like that. Like, and I'm not saying I don't love the other ones. I'm just saying this one.
Can we challenge these horror mavens and name one movie in the past 32 years that came out that's definitely better than this? It's not a challenge that I don't think they exist. I just want to hear the recommendations.
Autopsy of Jane Doe. Oh,
Okay.
What?
Okay. I like it. That was a great movie. They just played down.
I think it's another one that where it just takes place in one spot, and it's
Yeah, that was a
done
good one.
perfect.
I like that. What about
Is
you
that the
guys?
question, or did I speak out? Okay.
No. That was a great choice. Like, because that was last 32 years. What about you guys?
Oh, 92. Oh, Alien 3 came out in 92.
There's so many of them. That was just the first one popped in my head.
There's too many for me. Like I just
Yeah,
fucking
Devil's
there's
Reject,
tons.
Freddy versus Jason. I mean, there's which one you think is best, and there's like what's your personal favorite.
Sure.
And I feel like there's two different answers. If you,
So, Paul, you were wrong. You have to apologize to everyone right now.
We're very skeptical of this opinion.
No.
I'm totally judging you. I mean, you seem like a cool fellow, but
thanks for being on the show. We'll see you next time, bud.
You know what I mean? Like my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. Now, most, you talk to most like movie people, they're like, "Really? That's your favorite?" And it's like, yeah. So I get it. I think this is the birth. This is the birth of Paul finding his favorite movie of all time. So good for you, man. I'm glad.
I mean, you know what? I mean,
think it's great, man. It's good to hear somebody say they dug a modern movie that much.
Yeah, it really is.
Finally hear
It doesn't happen often.
It's questionable, but I mean, yeah, it's a good thing. How old are you, Paul?
32.
Cool. All right.
Right there though. I would say this, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of good movies, but this is a really top tier horror movie in my opinion.
It is a good one. It really is.
Because when it's only an hour and a half long, but and it's only in that one set, like you guys said, but there's a lot of pieces in this movie at the same time that leaves you thinking, and it also gives it the rewatch.
Yeah,
which
I've watched it a couple of times.
Not a one and done movie. You want to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, try to catch those little things that you may have missed.
Yeah, that's what I think I like about it. It calls back. There's not just a nostalgic feel of the look of Late Night, but it also has a nostalgic feel of horror. Like it's not in your face, it's not crazy, which I'm not against, but that's a new style.
Right.
Well, opposite the 70s, but it's a new style, more of a newer style.
You bet you're bippy.
But so like I like the setting back to a way where it's kind of like in tone, like more like Halloween or Friday the 13th, or it's just a little slower by pace. It's not that, I dug that aspect of it. And also, how many movies do we love in our genre that are like 70 or 80 minutes? Yeah. So I love that, you can get a good tale in that time, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, where I put out books in a genre that novellas are king. This is kind of one of those. It's like it's a quick watch. It's a short watch. You're not bored at it. You're curious the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it's boom, boom, boom. Like, and it's very rare when you have movies that keep you glued like that. You know.
Right.
And I have to also mention. All right, the owls. Okay, the fact that they brought in that whole fucking thing, the conspiracy behind, like, where apparently big Hollywood people go, the Grove, where they go, and because apparently, because I'm sure we've all seen the videos of, that place is real, and the fact that they brought that whole thing into this, I loved it. As a conspiracy theorist, I kind of am sometimes. Like I was like, oh, that's a great little thing. You're the reason why your wife's like dead. You're a piece of shit. Like, and it played out like a Twilight Zone episode too. Which is something that I like. You know what I mean? Like yeah. Well, because you have the the main character who is probably going to come out to being like, oh, you've done something like fucked up, and Rod Serling's there to go, hey, one man, TV show, all that shit or whatever. Like, you can totally see it in your head. And being an old school Twilight fan, man, like I really appreciated that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove is the real place out in California.
Yep. Yeah. The big owl and the weird shit that goes on there.
And it's
Come on, your owlness. Give us some money.
I think it's nice whenever they incorporate something more modern, more familiar into like a older setting. They did that with kind of like with
Shows it's been going on that long.
but like with Pearl, you know, Pearl is set in an older time, but they're talking about the pandemic, you know, that happened like 100 years ago. So it's relatable to us, but yet it's still referencing a previous time period.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good writing. And I mean, if you think about it, take it apart, you're like, man, this is really impressive how they put all this together. And people like me that have a short attention span and usually can't sit still long enough to sit through a whole movie, I was glued. As soon as it started, I was glued from beginning to end. And that also was refreshing.
I think a lot of that too is just because like this the transitioning, because you had just like the talk show and then you had the shit that was going on. So I mean, like you almost had you had two different stories kind of with the same movie, but they were just all tied into the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope that different studios like Universal and Blumhouse and Lionsgate, I hope they take note from this, because the expectations have been set higher, because this was Shudder.
Yes.
And IFC, if I remember correctly. So
I don't believe
I love Shudder. I love Shudder.
Shudder was like, hold our beer. Seriously, we'll do this shit. Goddamn.
Shudder, man, Shudder puts out a lot of good shit. They really do. You know,
for nothing. And all these $200 million goddamn movies coming out that barely, if ever, break even.
Yeah.
And these companies, and the same with the Terrifier movies and all that. It's like, let the
my biggest argument last year was Godzilla -1 had a budget of $15 million.
Yeah.
The creator had a budget of $80 million. Both those movies looked more spectacular than Phase 4 or 5 of Marvel.
Yeah, agreed. Totally. Yep.
I totally agree, because I don't give a fuck about Marvel anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just you're also paying for that action, that look, that realistic. Like that's what we want, and they're spending inflated budgets of 300, 400, 500 million dollars just to make $1 billion. Like, what is that? And then you come back and you have a movie a great sci-fi movie, a little sleeper indie hit that's $80 million, and it looks better than Avatar. It looked better than most movies that come out.
Fuck Avatar. What a boring piece of shit. I saw that movie in 3D, fell asleep. I mean, it's probably the all the beers that we snuck in, but that movie sucks.
There.
After the weed wore off, I didn't give a fuck anymore. Night down.
You have the budget on this, Dave?
Move over, kid.
I'm sorry.
I said, do you have the budget on this?
I could not find the budget on this film.
Interesting.
But your box office was $11.5 million. Oh, and speaking of that, the film opened on March 22nd, 2024 in 1,034 theaters, which isn't a lot, in the United States and Canada, and earned $2.8 million in its first 3 days. The best opening weekend for an IFC film ever. And I don't know if this next part is true, but if it is, it's hilarious. Media outlets noted that the total included an estimated $666,666.
Nice.
On its third day.
Satan.
That can't be true, right? But I don't know. It'd be hilarious.
Right. We're gonna say it is. We want that to be true.
The only thing I found, like, it was just it's just speculation too, is that it was probably about $1 million to 1.5 million as a budget.
I would say 1 to 2.
Which their opening weekend got 2.8. So that's like that's amazing for this, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I just pulled up a Forbes article. They're saying that they only spent $150,000 on visual effects.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on them.
See? I mean,
it can be done.
It can be done.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like the set and everything. I mean,
one set.
Yeah, it's basic.
Yeah, I mean, you can do.
Well, they did that in the house, but
you can make the same movie like for multiple phones. Like insert, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I appreciate that, like when they make movies like this, you know? It's like you ain't gotta go too fucking crazy. Just give me the fucking like the passion and the blood, sweat, and cum that you put into this fucking shit, and then hopefully something good comes out of it. I appreciate it. It ain't anything too fucking crazy. The only thing that I did hear about it though that's kind of weird is does anybody know about the truth behind it? Like there was AI in this. You know what I was gonna say?
There's 3 inserts that they used.
Yeah.
That were
Okay.
AI.
Which ones were they? Because I'm pretty sure I already know.
The one that melts. Like it's
Okay.
like we'll be right back, and it's all the lines melting, and then a couple of those, but the other ones don't do anything. So they created 3 inserts. From what I read, they created 3 inserts for this.
Oh, okay.
People were flipping the fuck out, and it's like you should have used a real artist, which I get, but it's an independent film, and artists should know better when artists are making something on a limited budget.
Sure.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know. All I knew was that like they used AI or something, and I was like, what do they use AI? I didn't even think about the fucking inserts. That makes more sense. That makes me actually feel a little bit better about it. Because like, yeah, like it's underground knows how underground is. We're not all rolling out in fucking dough. You know what I mean? Like, again, that big of a fucking deal. All right, cool, whatever. It's not like they were using that shit to do the scenes, which is what I was thinking.
It didn't take anything away from the actors, or it didn't take any. It didn't fucking.
No,
everybody got paid.
It wasn't the script that was written by AI.
No AI actors, none of that. No actors were harmed in the filming of this movie.
Yeah,
Diddy wasn't around, so everything was fine. See?
Yeah, I remember it was a big thing on the internet, and I was just like, I don't know, whatever.
I think people were just trying to find reasons to bitch about the film because it was so good.
Because it's Twitter, and that's what we do.
Oh yeah,
I was annoyed by that.
The elitist. There was a lot of SJWs all over the place that I've managed to go in and tell my fucking 2 cents on shit nobody cares about. But like, yeah, people. I don't know. I get tired of everybody just kind of missing the point of movies and like how it's okay to have fun. Like, yeah, there's a couple of things in the film that don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, well. I was trying to think of that because I remember watching it again last night. I was like, that's kind of weird.
One I'd like to point out is the black and white inserts too, where it pulls you. To me, it pulled me out of it because it's very small, but it's those little behind the scenes, like where they do their conversations with each other, where it's sort of sneaky. I understand they're filming it like they're being filmed from behind, but they never set that up. They never said, oh, we have a behind the scenes crew filming for Jack's big return and stuff like that. Like our documentary crew here filming. They never said that. So to have those little inserts felt out of place in my opinion.
Agree.
Well, the thing is, the thing about that though is, at the beginning of the movie, it does say there's backstage stuff and all that, whatever. My dad worked for WTVQ, ABC affiliated channel, for 50 years. They do film constantly. There's a lot of times when there's a film crew it's always filming. There's always a camera or 2 that are always going. Believe me, I've watched all the ridiculous bloopers that you can imagine from my dad's old work. So like that didn't bother me too much. The only thing is though, is it's kind of like hard to believe that like when old dude is going off to the side and he's like light up a cigarette and the other guy's like, I'm not sure about this. It's like, well, there's not a camera right in your face. So that kind of kills the backstage aspect of that. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, you're not going to sit and have that conversation with them like, hey, what's going on, bud? You know? Like, so that part, like, that's kind of like takes away from the found footage aspect of it.
Yeah, it didn't bother me, but I know what you're saying.
It didn't bother me too bad, though. Small shit, tiny, Yeah,
it doesn't ruin it or anything, but like me and Chad were talking about it, how like if Blair Witch suddenly cut to other fucking footage that wasn't from the handheld cam, then it would throw you off. And maybe they could have done this to where, because they're like, oh, this is the unedited footage, how it aired or how it was recorded or whatever. And it's like, okay, what if they just stuck to that footage that came from the camera, and then maybe whenever they did the backstage stuff, they could have just had it like a hot mic where they were still picking up his audio, but we didn't see the visuals. I mean, they could have done it that way.
Yeah.
But
that would have made more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that. That shit happens.
And going back to the AI statement, my problem with people bitching about the AI was just that it didn't take away from anyone's job. The artist chose to use AI for those. So it's not like, for me, it wasn't you're taking away from someone's job, because if they had to replace the artist with just AI,
well, you can't really make that claim though, because I understand you can make the argument there's a budget, you can use an artist. I get where an independent artist doesn't and is choosing a cheaper option that's available. That's but like you can't say like an artist, because it's not the same, using it different. That's like saying a director's the same as a DP or this. It's all art coming together.
Yeah,
right.
So you got like I don't like if it was like 50% AI and they didn't I get it. But like it was 3 inserts, you got to let it go. Like I'm not going to pay you $15,000 for 3 inserts. Like it's
right.
See, the same argument goes along in the extreme horror book world about people making covers using AI and not worried about actual artists and all this shit. Like it's a whole big fucking thing everywhere, man. Fucking AI taking over, and it sucks. Like I think that it can come in use like in the inserts on this, for example. The little smidgens or whatever. If this was like a big old giant budget movie, all right, maybe I could understand a little bit more being angry, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, let it be. Like when we start having full movies being made by AI, we'll start bitching then, and then we can go, hey, everybody warned us. But by that time, we're by that point, we're gonna be like running from like Terminators and wigs, So whatever.
Well, I think that's where the heat is everybody is like, okay, don't even start going down this rabbit hole because it's gonna be a fucking nightmare. Because it's like, oh, well, it's just an insert right now, and then next it's a whole script, then it's actors in a script, then it's like, where do you stop? So it's like everybody's just like, fucking no AI. We don't want that in our shit. We don't want to fuck up our industry.
Too, it's another tool. If you use it, then we have the ability, and that's where I draw the line. It's your responsibility if you don't want to go see a movie to not go see a movie. It's not the filmmaker's responsibility to make a movie that you want to see. And so, like, that's where the thing is. Like, yeah, they may be using something. If somebody uses AI, go right ahead. I can choose not to go see that fucking thing, and I hope it dies. But like any tool is just going to come. Like, this ain't going anywhere. We know it. It's going to turn into Terminator soon. It's going to fuck us all up. But it's not going to go anywhere soon. So, like, we either have to start adapting to it and evolving with it, or we're going to be dead in the water. It's going to be taken over.
Well, I mean, like, even
what we make.
Since we're kind of talking about the AI thing real quick, also, like, even in music, one of my favorite bands of all time is a band called Deicide. And their latest album, they used AI to make the cover. And I watched a review of that newest album, which I think it's actually a pretty cool album. But something was brought to my attention I never even thought about before. The reviewer was talking about the lyrics and how it almost seems like, well, if the artist is okay with using the AI as a cover, are they okay with using the lyrics from AI as well and pulling it and calling it their own? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things that kind of like, it's making things cheap. I don't know. It's scary. It's weird.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
So weird about it.
We
are. No, it's true. Hey,
it's all goodbye.
Now, I have a question for you guys, because Mick and I were discussing it. Do you count this as a found footage, or do you count this almost as its own category of being like archive footage, since it's already technically in-house and they say they're pulling it and showing us? So is it kind of, even though they say it's found footage, does it count as kind of its own subcategory?
I would say that it goes along with found footage, because I mean, just like you said, archive found footage. There's all kinds of found footage. Every, I mean, you probably already know this, obviously, because like every little bit, like every genre has those fucking like those branches, And found footage there's so many different ones. I mean, because there's the found footage, like like I said, in the cave, the found footage, like in the the creepy church, and then all that kind of shit. Like, I would put it in the found footage.
I think of like the handheld fucking Blair Witch type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, like I need some Dramamine to watch this.
But we've never really had a found footage movie that's done by a whole crew. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of it does kind of open up some questions about some things. But I would definitely I think I would say it's found footage. I think it's definitely in that category. Yeah.
Same
I think
ballpark.
me and Dave are going on.
But it's also in the same ballpark of like exorcism films. You know, I mean, it's one of those that kind of can go different places, which is also really good about it. Because I going back to like being kind of tired of zombies and exorcism movies. Exorcism movies probably more now than zombie movies at this point. There's way too many of them. Exorcism movies and Amityville movies that don't make any fucking sense are kind of like at the same level right now. Yeah, I lost my thought on that.
Since you kind of brought up the exorcism shit and whatever, like I did think it was funny how in the film Carmichael was saying that the Warrens didn't have the balls to go to.
Yeah, I was just about to say that little barb that he does to the Warrens.
Yeah, which one they actually did go to Amityville though.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was just funny.
Oh yeah. Which by the way, speaking of Amityville, there's a great new book out by one of my favorites, Edward Lee, another author named Judith Sonnet, and R.J. Benetti, called Amityville Bukkake. That's a fun one. Getting great reviews right now. I haven't read it, but I can't wait to. I'm hearing it's a lot of fun. Try to throw that out there.
Covered in Elmer's glue.
Are there pictures, or is it just words?
No, just words. It's a big boy book.
Okay.
It sounds like it is.
My teacher has to be
right. Yeah, no.
Gum is made out of Elmer's glue and Vaseline.
It's about a porno crew doing a bukkake in the Amityville house, and crazy shit happens. Yeah, so there you go. I had to include it. You know, I had to include it. We're talking about Amityville.
Is there a donkey show?
We all thank you.
I don't know.
I
don't know. There might be. The internet should thank me. Goddamn, I'm Chuck Nasty.
All right, let's moving on. Can we acknowledge the young lady that played Lily in this movie?
Yeah,
My God, I felt like she was staring through my fucking soul, dude.
Yeah, she did a good job. Yeah, she did a really good job.
Staring into the camera and is just with no expression, just dead faced, like just
She came across
fantastic.
she came across more creepy whenever she wasn't possessed. Which made me think that she was possessed the whole time, and that it was just the demon fucking with everybody, like turning.
See, that was one thing. That was another little issue I had, is when she turned into the demon, she was automatically the exorcist demon, and she automatically had like the cuts all over her face and all that shit. And I'm like, you could have done something different. I mean, it's very obvious what you were going for. I mean, everybody loves a good homage. I mean, I've got the poster over here. It's classic. Love the movie.
Cuts and the green eyes.
Yeah, like you could have gone a little bit more original with that, but because I mean there were reasons why she was all cut up and fucked up in that movie. You know, like that part. But again, little itsy bitsy inkling that really doesn't fucking matter too much. But I agree. She was 10 times creepier when she didn't have the makeup, when she was just speaking as
smoke and mirrors.
So do you think she was possessed the whole time, and it was just the demon fucking with people?
I do.
I think so. I think it was just because they always. I mean, that's what they kind of like lead you to believe. But that's another good thing about though, is because you have to actually ask yourself, how many times can I say actually in a row? Who knows? You have to, you actually ask yourself that question throughout the whole movie. And I'm a big fan of that shit. You know, it's just like, ooh, what, what's the truth? What's going on?
It was almost like my interpretation was whenever they burnt down the house, that Dabo's soul entered the girl as a demon to come back and show itself to the world or whatever. So it seemed to me like he was possessing her after he died in the fire. Possibly.
See, I think that's what happened to him too. Like after he killed her or whatever, like the fucking demon jumped into him, then he just ended up fucking waking up like, oh fuck.
I kind of figured out. I figured it was the demon all along made the deal with Jack, and this was his way to get on the show.
Yeah,
and, using the little girl the whole time, and like kind of because they do allude to that. They reached out to him. It was an interesting story, and she was always like, "Hi, Jack." She was like really up his ass about a lot of things most times. So
And that's why, because she didn't get hypnotized during that part, I don't think, because you can't hypnotize a demon.
Yeah, and I only assume for the makeup effects, like why they went so close to The Exorcist, homage, but it's also what we know. So for a movie like this, like it's subtle anyway. Like you might as well go the most subtle, but the most recognizable. So it made sense for me for my makeup purposes, just to see her like that.
But it also goes back to the old school of it, though, where like in 70s movies and shit, like 1 minute like somebody's like, oh, they're normal, and they go their head down, they come back up, and they're like, oh, they're automatically like transformed, So like it kind of had that a little bit too.
The makeup effects are great. Like I love practical effects. Like whenever fucking Gus is doing his little hypnosis thing, and he fucking pulling worms out of his neck, and like you can kind of see the prosthetic on him. Like he blew up a little bit, but him fucking.
I love that part.
Like I just love old school practical effects. Like fuck CG. Like I'm not down with it. Like
it fucked me up when Christou vomited out that black shit. I'm not gonna lie, that threw me off.
Yeah.
I was not.
I didn't like
that when he just browsed.
Yeah, I didn't like that they
Christou
did
Christou was annoying. Like that guy just fucking irritated a little fuck out of me. Yeah, I hope so.
It took me a few times to realize. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine. I talk a lot. Like, no, he did a good job and everything, but goddamn, dude, like, I hate people like that. I can't stand that whole like, oh,
it was
like
Peterman.
Please accept.
Well, it's like those fucking. Remember Montel, like when Montel Williams, whatever his fucking name was, and he had that Sylvia Brown on there, and she was like telling people about people, all this. They all got found to be fucking fakes. People that actually had those fucking abilities don't go on fucking TV shows.
What I liked about Christou is the whole time he has the accent on when he's calling out Peterman and all that shit. The only time he breaks character is when he gets that actual message for the host.
Yeah,
because you hear it in his accent, it changes to his American accent because he's actually scared as shit, and he realizes it. And it took me a few times to notice that, and then I was like,
that neither. I didn't catch.
Yeah, if you watch it again, once it's like something legit. He's like,
I think he was actually a hack. I think he's actually supposed to be a hack, and then all of a sudden, like he ends up not being because of all that shit. And so, like, I did catch that. Yeah.
See, now I have to go back and watch it again.
Because even whenever Carr was like asking like the two ladies or whatever, they were saying that the chick that came out to help him whenever he had the fucking meltdown or whatever was actually like asking questions and shit to people in the audience beforehand. So
that's one of their tactics.
Just kind of like reading the crowd through them.
Right.
I'm getting the name Ray Peterson.
You're right. Peter.
Is there a P? Oh.
That dialogue during that talking about his ex-wife was fucking hilarious.
Ray Stantz.
My golf game's never been better. Man, the script was great. I love
and great cast.
Very well written. Yeah,
great cast. I like it whenever they do films like that. They bring in people that are relatively unknown, so it doesn't take you away. As soon as you see a recognizable actor, a lot of times it's just like, oh, there's so and so. And whenever it's people we don't recognize, you can get more into the film and not have those little things that take you away.
And that I really like David just for his acting, because there's not one movie I think of him in particular as just that role. Like he's been in a lot of great films and TV shows, and I never think of him as, oh, he's only this guy, or he only, not a lot of actors we think of just kind of one dimensional, same actor or same character in different films. And for David, I think he's been true to the acting form in everything he's done, because
he's played a wide variety of characters.
I hope after this he gets more leads.
I do too.
Yes.
because he did fucking great in this movie.
How much do you think it fucks him up too? Because if this came out a year ago, then it had to have been filmed 2 years ago. So like now it's coming out and he gets just a big surge in his career. It's like, holy shit.
I've been waiting.
He's getting blown the fuck up.
And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts because I don't know if I'm reading too much into this. What did you guys make anything out of the dude in the skeleton costume?
I did the first
I
time
did actually. Yeah.
But then you see it the first time when the camera goes in on, you see in a next part like she's like clapping and like looking around next to the person. So like I was like, all right, that took me out of it.
Speaking of the late great Roger Corman, it kind of gave me Mask of the Red Death vibes at first. You know, it's like the character walks into the room. It's very noticeable. You know what I mean? It's like person in the skeleton outfit is kind of like death. You know what I mean? So like it kind of made me think of that. So like I kind of went like, oh, is that going to be something to it? And it totally wasn't. But they could have gone that way. They could have done it on purpose. You know?
Yeah.
Well, you see that. Think is he just there, or
I don't know.
Because they make a point to focus on him, even when they're in the crowd. Your eyes just go.
Well, you got to remember back in the day, and they still sort of do it sometimes. Late night shows do zero in on a crowd of,
right,
especially in the 70s, like somebody in the crowd and like kind of zooms in on it until it goes to commercial.
Okay.
That was a big thing.
I just took it as some kids
Didn't
know how to act. You know, like sometimes how you see those cam videos for kissing couples or shit like that in sports events now. Like some people just don't know what to do. They just freeze up and are on camera. So I just kind of chalked it up as some random kid in costume just being like, what the fuck am I doing? Like just not really there. Like he's there, but he's not.
Okay.
So I just
like those teenagers.
Right.
But,
especially
like
in the 70s.
The weird part is like he cracks a joke to him and he just no sells it. It's like, okay, what's this fucker's deal? But then you see the skeleton later on in that sequence after the fact. So is that tied in? Is he part of the cult, the satanic?
That's what I thought. I thought he was a cult member here to see the big show, the big reveal.
Right.
That could be it too. I could believe that. That makes a lot of sense.
I got to go back and watch it again. See
yep.
But it didn't happen. like, wait, are we hypothetically putting this to test? Like, none of it happened.
Creating conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's going to go show us how he takes a piss.
He's going to show it now.
Fantastic.
Well, guys, it's been fun. I got
backstage footage.
We didn't need to see the Bukkake in Amityville. It's okay. You don't need to reenact it.
I'm grabbing the other tall boy I got. I just didn't want to miss this conversation.
This refrigerator is filthy.
It is. It's horrible. You would say it was nasty.
So Mick, you think it didn't? None of it happened?
No. The skeleton nothing happened with the skeleton. So like
it
didn't, like having a theory about it. Like if you go through, the skeleton it's just weird in that part. Every other time you see it is like interacting or like looking at the person next to it. So
it's not zeroed out anymore.
There. I mean, it sucks. I was hoping it would. I was like, is this like fucking death or somebody showed up? That would have been amazing. And I felt like it's a missed opportunity, but that had to have been just like a happy, like, let's pay homage to Price is Right when they zoom in on different
come on down.
Stuff like that. Like it was a very 70s feel in that shot, but it was just a very creepy costume too. It was very awesome.
I did like that skeleton costume. It reminded me of Cobra Kai. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I thought.
No, it did not.
I said me. It reminded my mind went there first.
I've seen those. Those are spandex and bait.
Beat the leg.
Leave him alone, Johnny. He had enough.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it up until the end.
Well, you said
about the end.
That part of the end could have went.
Yeah, like if they would have, like me and Mike talked about it yesterday. Like if they would have just cut off whenever it went to like, what the fuck did that thing say? Like
station standby or whatever.
Yeah. And whenever it goes to that screen, if it just like stuck there and then just rolled credits, I feel like that would have been like a more powerful ending.
I think so.
I think they could have ended it right there. They could have ended it right there, but they obviously had to, like, you know,
I think they had
show
to spell it
you.
out. Yeah,
They had to. But the thing is, though, they really didn't have to, because if you really put 2 and 2 together,
I mean,
you
they
would have
still
already
have
got all that shit figured
kind
out.
of deal. You still have that what if or what happened kind of feel. So like, it still leaves you guessing. But I think it would have been a better way to do it, just cutting it off there. Even with the flashback scenes, whenever he comes walking out and he's like, "How'd I get here?" and the fucking dude's like, "Down fucking 32nd and 45th or whatever." Like if they would have just cut it off before that shit happened, to me that'd have been even more powerful. It would have just been a shorter movie by like 15 minutes.
I think that when she splits her head open and the electricity's taken over, which I thought was a cool thing. A lot of people bitched about it, but I thought it was kind of cool. It was interesting. It was different, you know. But I think whenever they were going out and they closed the door, they could have ended it there.
Now you see when her head splits and looks like that, I assumed she was trying to mimic how the owl looked, like with the eyes separated like that, and it was supposed to look like a white in the middle. That's what I took it as.
That's pretty.
I did not think about that.
I never thought about it. Okay.
I like the idea. I almost wanted it to be where he, after he stabs, and I don't know, spoilers okay or not okay? I don't want to.
Yeah.
If people are watching this, they automatically know there's spoilers. It's their fault.
We put in the warning at the beginning, it says spoilers.
Yeah.
You haven't fucking seen it. How did you make it this far into this conversation?
We spoil shit all the time.
So when he stabs his wife and then like wakes up to, you know, he stabbed a little girl, I thought, for me, like, yes, that ending, I didn't mind that they added the extras and he was going insane, but I thought they should have taken it a step further and either, when you pull back, everybody's there. Like he killed off Christoph during the show. Everybody, like, they're all laying dead on the stage, and like people are clearing out, and he's just kind of like looking around. So the whole show didn't really happen. He just murdered everyone. Or he wakes up and he's like this, and everyone's dead, and he's just like laughing, and the demon standing there was like, "You ready to go again tomorrow night?" Like maybe it's like sort of this like ironic punishment of hell. You know, you got to keep living the worst moments of your thing together. You know, that could have been something a little bit different too. Like
they could have gone different ways.
I felt like they probably should have at that point. I didn't mind the wife part, but like you could have added a little bit more.
They could have done. They should have done what Clue did back in the 80s. They should just had like 3 different endings to it.
It could have ended that way, but
yeah, because
it runs to the code and screw it. Yeah, I love that fucking movie.
Once all the shit goes down and they do the screen with the station difficulties, it's like it cuts to that scene where it's like the after. Like, I hate in movies where they do these dream scenes or shit where you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's real and what's not real, because then it's like, oh well, we can just do whatever the fuck we want, and it's like, no, this is supposed to be the actual footage. Like, I'm watching the footage now, I'm watching something else. And I don't know what the fuck is real. Like, I know you're trying to do that, but I don't like that. You know, I'd rather it just cut off and then leave it to my imagination to figure out what the fuck happened. Like, clearly everybody died and he made it out or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, was it a hypnosis thing? Was it real? Okay. But now it's like, I got to figure out, okay, he did a deal with the devil in this grove allegedly, but that doesn't make sense to me, because fucking if he did a deal with the devil, why is he not beating Carson after 5 years? Like, I didn't do a deal to be fucking second place. I didn't sell my soul for second place, motherfucker. So that never really made sense to me. I was like, okay, I don't know. Like, I kept thinking that he had done something terrible and it was going to come out, but it never really did. And then it's like at the end, oh, he killed her. And like you said, where's the audience? Were they ever there? It's like, what the fuck is going on now? So it's confusing, and I'm like, I don't like it. So like I said, if you cut it off at that one point and let my imagination do the rest, then I'm fine. But don't try to fuck with my head.
Mike, I'm with you on that one. I totally am with you on that one. I love the whole movie, but yeah, I think that they would have went a different direction with how things ended up and wrapping back around. than and using more of our own creative mind to figure out what happened next. I think it probably would have been a little better, but again, it still doesn't take away from how much I actually really love this movie.
Sure,
but yeah, I totally
all
agree.
in all, this fucking film was great.
Yeah,
but like everything, there's a few little fucking things that can be different that we will bitch about because that's what we do.
Yeah, right. But again, there's been so many movies. This is one of those movies that we watch, and it's a small, itsy bitsy smidgen of a piece of shit in the movie that doesn't even fucking matter. That doesn't take away from the entertainment that it gets.
No, it's definitely a fun movie. Like it just plays so smooth, and like fucking the runtime is over, and you're just like, what the fuck? That was quick.
That 90 minutes is the sweet spot for horror, I think. If you're gonna go over that time frame, you better have a fucking third act that delivers.
Yeah,
right.
You better have the Shining. If you're gonna do it, you better have The Shining.
Yes,
or The Exorcist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some mind blowing shit.
So in other words, I wouldn't even bother. I would just stick to the hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because we don't want, when it goes on a good solid horror films, we don't really need it to be 3 hours long. That's where a lot of movies fail, is that they're too long, or they're trying to throw in too much, everything in the bathroom sink into it, and it's nice once in a while to get a simple film that's straightforward, gives you what you want. There's not a whole bunch of bullshit in between. This one had its little backstories and all that nonsense, but it all had its relevance. Having a shorter film, yeah, man. Like, and a lot of us horror guys, especially these days, I've noticed, it's almost impossible to sit through a movie that's past an hour and 45 minutes without picking up the fucking Facebook and flipping around or doing whatever. Like, I get fucking antsy. I can't fucking stand it. That's why it goes back to Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I had a buddy that went and saw the third one like 2 times in one day. I was like, don't you have a fucking life?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
You get a lot done in 7 hours.
Yeah, I could write one novel. If I had
It's
7 hours.
VHS tapes and shit, like I'll look at from like the 80s and 90s, like pretty much like the standard runtime back then was 88 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had your co-eds, you had your angry boyfriend, you had the killer killing everybody, and that was that. Straight boom. There wasn't a whole bunch of bullshit in between. We got it. We got what we wanted. We were done. We had our cigarette afterwards, and we moved on to the next activity. Simple as that, Exactly.
Yeah, but all in all, this fucking film, like, just amazing. Like, I didn't know what to really expect from it. Then after I watched it, I was like, well, fuck.
Yep.
We gotta do this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it still got me thinking, because it's like, sitting here talking about it with you guys, it's like trying to figure out, like, was it the fucking satanic guy that was possessing the girl? Was it his wife that was possessing the girl, trying to get payback on him for something? I don't know. There's a couple different ways you could go and interpret it. And I like that. Like I said, I like trying to use my mind to figure it out. I don't need some kind of fucking weird dream sequence to throw a wrench in there.
Not to play the devil's advocate, but as far as that ending, the dream sequence, for me, I took that because you see the spirit, whatever, the energy goes through the whole lines, right? So you see it at the cameras and everything. So I took it as Abraxas taking over the set, and that's walking the whole audience through what you're seeing as far as the sequence, just kind of exposing him.
Not a bad way to look at it.
That's just how I interpreted it. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, Abraxas is showing, their ass, and then at the end, all of a sudden showing that Jack killed the girl.
Now is he taking control of the studio, or is he using the electricity from the studio to power himself?
I saw it the reverse way, the power coming out of her to go to the studio. Okay. That's how I saw it. But
I mean, that might explain all the little glitches we see. The glitches get, more and more apparent throughout. That's interesting. Okay.
Well, when they speak to the abracadabra and all that, and they talk about Abraxas meaning this, that's where I took a lot of the stuff, because what I thought was also interesting is the cameraman, where he's like, "You're not seeing this, or we're not seeing this." I took that as in Abraxas was just fucking with half the audience anyway. They weren't able to see it. Like, even the problems that were going on set that we were able to see, the camera guy, could see, but the people upstairs weren't seeing shit.
Right.
So the whole time, Abraxas was kind of fucking with everyone to begin with, as far as the media goes.
Well, I like too how whenever fucking Carmichael has Gus like hypnotized or whatever, and then he starts acting crazy and tearing his stomach open, and she's in the background like, why is he acting so crazy? Because she wasn't hypnotized.
Yeah.
So she just sees him actually doing what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they just kind of like made that known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating. Very fascinating stuff. And if you can explain what this truly means, then here, I happen to have a check right here for $100,000.
He tries to give it to her at the fucking end.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you, you're on
He
fire.
tries to sell his soul at the end. He's like, I pledge myself to you in blood.
Father,
That shit was great.
She just like, abracadabra.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Now you're toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad we did this, because y'all got me thinking, and I'm probably definitely going to go back and watch this movie again.
That's why I love this movie, because I mean, there's just so much shit you could think of to fucking like.
Oh yeah.
You could do like 20 other different versions of this shit.
Yeah. That's a shit.
I'm in favor of more like talk show found footage films.
Oh, don't beat this one to death too, Holly. God damn it.
No, beat it hard.
Beat it to the
Motherfucker. Beat it
professionals.
upright. Beat it upright.
Fucking
Fucking just sell the souls of all these motherfuckers. Go ahead. Let's get more devil into it. Let's get more Satan into our films.
But you did kind of see like what he looked like whenever like the screen was fuzzy or whatever, and he kind of like shows through in the end.
Right.
That was kind of dope.
No.
It was like squint your eyes to see this image or whatever.
Yeah,
Make
the more
film
we
satanic
talk about
again.
it, the more I'm like,
That's
maybe
my
it just should
slogan.
cut right there when he's coming through the screen.
Yeah, even that would have been nice.
You're swaying me. You're swaying me.
There's just so much you could do. Like, it's fucking insane. That's why I love this shit. Like, it wasn't your standard horror movie.
Yeah, and I like movies I can go back and rewatch again and still be entertained by it.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't happen often anymore.
No, it's true. It really doesn't. I mean, this is really one of those that like there's something about it, man. They just as much as like I love it being so short, you're almost kind of like I kind of want it to be a little longer, but then you don't want it to be too long. Like it'd be much longer because like you already want some of it shortened down. But it's just I don't know. It definitely rewatchable. Definitely.
But I know you guys are here on us late tonight. Here with us late tonight in the store. So, any final thoughts on Late Night with the Devil?
Well, I don't know if you start with us or how.
Oh, I'm sorry. Guess first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guess
sorry.
first.
No, I was just going to say.
Well, we're not used to anybody visiting us in the store. We're usually here by ourselves.
This late at night, we want to pop something on the multi TVs on the wall. I get it. Man. Let's do it. I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. It's I'm honestly mad that this movie came out before Exorcist Believer, and that's what we got, and we're still getting 2 more of those. Like this revitalized and breathed new air into the exorcism genre or subgenre rather. And I hope people challenge themselves making exorcism films, in the future and something like this, and maybe not exactly this, but something creative like this comes about.
Exorcism Bukkake.
In the Amityville house.
And there you go. I'll let them know the sequel.
Oh, Paul, your final thoughts, sir.
My final thoughts is, it's this great movie. I would suggest to absolutely watch it. if you're into just jump scares only, you'll probably be disappointed in this movie. You know, if you're just going in just for, you know, the volume getting super loud or something popping out at you. Yeah. But if you actually want a good story, having scary elements, having some fun visual effects, this is the one to watch. And I think this is one that almost all ages could enjoy and still pull something away from, which I think speaks highly to a movie if it's able to hit all ages and enjoyable to everyone. So I look forward to the indie industry, and I think they just set the bar very high. And I know for Shudder alone, they set the bar high for me. So I hope Shudder doesn't disappoint, continues its upward path.
Yeah.
That's true. Well said. You, sir.
It definitely took me back to like my childhood, like watching that kind of caliber of horror movie, because they were so much different back then. Like they weren't trying to rip each other off like they are today. Like you see the 1,000 movies today, and like 900 of them are basically the same.
You get them mixed up.
It's true.
Very true.
Well, I love, like I said, I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I love the cast not being relatively known. Just everything up until the end, I think, for me. I could have done without that. It's kind of my what I always say. If you're ever going to watch the Dexter series, stop after season 4. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if it was up to me, I would stop it right at whenever it cuts to that, before that dream sequence type gimmick. So had a blast watching it, and I'm pretty sure Johnny Carson is Satan.
Let me tell you, this is crazy right here.
This is crazy. Publisher.
Dare we ask for your final thoughts, Nasty?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Going back to the fun film thing. It is good just to put on a horror film that isn't got some kind of fucking agenda or, you know, trying to push some kind of bullshit on you. You know, being straightforward and giving you a good story and giving you thrills and chills and some gross out. And I like throat slices. So that ending when old girl was pulled up and her throat slit, I got hard.
See, I knew something like that. Oh my gosh. All right. So your Clerks and the Scene Snobs recommend Late Night with the Devil. And before we get out of here, it is that time again for our random clip of the week, in which our random clip generator selects a random clip from a random movie, and we see what happens. Well, let's see what happens this week.
The details of my life are quite inconsequential.
Oh, no, please. Let's hear about your childhood.
Okay. Is this like the 2024 version of The Ring?
Very well. Where do I begin? My father was a relentlessly self-improving boulangerie owner from Belgium with low-grade narcolepsy and a penchant for buggery. My mother was a 15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet. My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark.
I feel like I'm back at a therapist. Like,
sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy.
Like this.
Oh.
Paul, you ruined it. We were listening. And
that was a great monologue. I was like, yeah, tell us, doctor.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Or as I call him, Dad.
I just want sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
Sharks or sharts?
Sharks.
I don't think anybody would ever actually want a shart on top of their head, Chad.
Some people were into some shit.
I mean, okay, you know what? I'll take it back. There are some
we call that the Vince McMahon special.
Oh no!
Yum.
Did he do that? Is that a thing?
Allegedly. It's purely speculation.
Drop a candy bar,
Oh,
EJ.
horrible transition. But Mick and Paul, tell the good folks of the internet where they can find you.
Well, go check us out if you go to the Scene Snobs. We're everywhere. The link is down below, like they said. So go check us out, follow us, hang out, join Snob Nation, talk movies. We love movies. We know you do too, so we'd love to have you over there. But I'm also here to talk about Carolina Fear Fest, which is coming up Memorial Day weekend down in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to be a great time, 3 days of just pure fun in a horror way. So come out, meet the celebrities, get awesome things from the vendors. Go check out any of the tons of panels, the Game Fest, the Film Festival, everything that they're going to have going on there. It's at North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh. Like I said, go check it out. Carolina Fear Fest. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Check them out.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on with us. I had a good time. I hope you did too. We
did. Yeah.
Got to get together again and hang out because this was a lot of fun. But we're getting out of here. Thank you for so much for joining us. Next week, what are we doing next week?
Whoa. Hey,
whoa.
Hey, on Mother's Day, I had a new release come out.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
Hey,
you know, I had a new book come out. I want to go ahead and talk about it real quick. It's called Chuck Nasty Presents, and this was called Erotic Gore. It's 2 stories that I had out in recent anthologies that are depraved and sexual and disgusting in every way of it. Yeah, go pick that up now at Amazon.
The king of Bukkake, Chuck Nasty.
I didn't do that. Look, there's so many of my friends that go, that makes sense, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, so there's that. I just want to make sure that got out there real quick. So,
what's a bukkake? What's a bukkake?
I don't think we can talk about what bukkake is, Michael.
Are you getting an Amazon release?
It's there.
Huh? What?
Are you getting an Amazon release for that one as well?
It's there.
Yeah. It's on there. Paperback. I don't know if it's on there yet, but the digital stuff's on. Is a lot. The paperback's supposed to be going on. Should be like tomorrow. And yeah, but there's an uber special thing about ready to happen. I've been working on my next novel, and it's going to be fucking amazing.
Add that to my Chuck Nasty book collection.
Yep.
We all will.
Yep. Should.
With Amityville Bukkake.
I didn't do that one. That's not my book.
No, we got to add it to the collection. It's going to work.
You should add it to your collection. But I didn't want that.
Collection.
Wait, is it Amityville Bukkake with a BOO? Like Bukkake? Because it should be.
that actually would have been that actually is kind of funny. Yeah. Love it.
Missed opportunity.
Fucking thanker, Mike. You're a thanker.
It's late.
Appreciate you guys having us.
We're fucking
yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for coming by.
Anytime.
We did hire a private investigator to try to find Whitman, so hopefully we'll update you on that in the coming weeks. Until then, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Stay gross.
I'm here with you now. I'm watching the video store, Clerks.